Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I'm going to be getting a little personal and sharing with you my grit story. So first off, let's take it back all the way to my high school days, specifically my freshman year. I loved playing sports and was always so intrigued by every single sport. I wanted to do everything. I played soccer, volleyball, ran track, basketball, and I even cheered. But my main passion was always track. In track, I ran the 200-meter dash, relays, and I was super intrigued by pole vault. Although pole vaulting looked really easy and fun, it was the complete opposite. I struggled so much, but I never gave up. I had super supportive coaches and teammates who pushed me, and I even made it to the 2009 regionals. However, I didn't make it to state. I was very devastated. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Although I was very sad, one of my teammates came to me and said, "Patty, it's totally fine. You can always try again next year." I did just that. I began to set my goals. I knew I had to be determined, and I had to practice. This all had to be done in repetition over and over again. I started off with getting myself into the gym and making sure I was working out and lifting weights. I was practicing pull-ups, and I was listening to all of the feedback that my coaches and my teammates were giving me. Sure enough, my junior and senior year, I became the 2A state champion for pole vault. All of my hard work, all of the long days of practice, every single day were paying off. I even attempted to break the state record for the 2A division. My grit story doesn't just end there. I applied the same grit to school. I was very passionate about school, and I knew I wanted to do something with it. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to be a 4.0 student. However, my biggest adversity was struggling in English. My test anxiety always got the best of me. Although I would do really well on my homework, I would do really bad on my test. And that was where I struggled the most. I had many motivational speakers come talk to our school. I was so motivated because they had so much grit that I wanted to apply the same thing to my personal life. So I applied to many scholarships regardless of my struggles in English. I had to apply to many scholarships because I knew financially my parents couldn't afford it, and I didn't have money for it either. I knew that I wanted to be the best candidate on my scholarship applications, that I did everything from intercultural club, basketball, volleyball, cheer, National Honor Society, you name it. I wanted to do everything and help everyone. During our 2012 awards night for my senior class, they mentioned my name, and I only received one $90 scholarship. I knew this couldn't afford for 4 years of college. I was super hard on myself and I was very sad. I went home crying because I thought I failed. I was so stressed out during this time because I really had no idea what I was going to do with my life because I didn't have enough money to go to college. But I did end up graduating with honors. I originally was going to go to Eastern Oregon University to do track, but since I had no money, that was out of the picture. I applied to UNR the day after applications were due, and I got accepted. I knew that since I struggled with English, I wanted to do really well in college. I took 3 English classes, and I got all A's in every single one of them. Every single semester in my college career, I applied for scholarships. It wasn't until my senior year that I finally received a scholarship that I applied for. The 2 scholarships that kept me through college was the Nevada State Gear Up and the Nevada Millennium Scholarship. I never let money get the best of my goals. I knew that I always wanted to study abroad, and in 2014, I was able to accomplish that. I was influenced by my parents in seeing their hard work pay off, that the environment that I grew up in is why I became so gritty. My dad came to the United States with only a 6th grade education, and he even became a U.S. citizen. I grew up with wise parents who were both very supportive but very demanding. They pushed me to be the greatest I could ever be. For the longest time, being a guerrero meant you always had to work. You had to work really hard for everything you wanted. When I was 12 years old, I decided to start working as a housekeeper. I needed to pay for school and my supplies. Don't get me wrong, we always had food on the table, but I felt like I needed to pull my end of the bargain and help them out. August 18, 2016, my family faced the biggest adversity. My dad had just purchased his first house, and he was finally going to be a homeowner. The house that he had just recently purchased caught on fire, and everything inside was completely gone. I was so devastated because I took this personally. This was my dad's hard work. Everything inside of there represented one struggle after another and what he had gone through. For it to be gone, it tore me apart. But my dad, he's the complete opposite. He will never lose his grit because he has so much hope. He knows that if you work really hard for something, it can be accomplished. Together as a family, we represented one hope. I decided to take my hope to the next level and believe in myself and start pushing my passion and my perseverance through what I really wanted. I started my YouTube channel, I completely redid my blog, my sweetest closet, and I decided to apply to the MBA program. Although I'm not accepted yet, I'm still taking classes because I want this so bad, regardless if I am accepted or not. If I never had this self-talk to myself, and making sure that I knew that I could always accomplish anything I wanted to and never quit, I would become grittier. I kept pushing myself regardless of what circumstance I faced. I also surrounded myself with the best grit culture I could ever have. My grit culture motivates me to accomplish anything I set my mind to. However, my grit story does not just end there. It is still to be continued because I have so much more to accomplish. Hi guys, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully this video motivates you to also be grittier and have some grit. Please make sure you check all of my social media down below so that way you guys can follow me. And I'll also leave the book Grit down below so that way you guys get a little bit of inspiration and can read the book if you guys have some time. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!